welcome you in the lecture series of random processes, detection and estimation. It is the seventh lecture of this series. In the previous lecture, we have discussed joint moment, correlation, covariance, conditional distribution, central limit theorem, and the concept of random process. In this lecture, we will discuss about the classification of random process, and the outline of this lecture are: we will discuss stationary random process, non-stationary random process, wide sense stationary random process, mean ergodic process, independent process, and then we will discuss about Markov process, counting process, Poisson process, and Wiener process. After this, we will discuss about cross correlation function, cross covariance, and power spectral density. In the objective of this lecture, you will able to explain the various type of random processes and the significance of the power spectral density. Now we will start with the stationary random process or stochastic process. A random process whose statistical characteristic does not change with time is known as a stationary random process. Means for a stationary random process, a change of time origin cannot be detected and the process will appear to be the same. For example, the noise process representing the noise in the channel is a stationary process because its statistical characteristic like mean square value does not change with time. A process xt for t belongs to t is said to be a stationary or strict sense stationary process if the CDF x to x1 for the time instant t1 to tn will be equal to the CDF of x1 to xn t1 plus tau to tn plus tau. So we have changed time origin here. So the distribution of the stationary random process will be unaffected by the shift in the time origin. And you can see the first order distribution, the CDF of the first order distribution will be the fxx at time instant t. It will be fxx at t plus tau. The shift in the time origin will be unaffected and the CDF will be same. So it will be the fxx and the PDF will be fxxt. It will be fxxt plus tau. So the change of the time origin will be unaffected, and so the PDF will be same in this case. And for the second order distribution, the CDF will be fx1 x2 at time t1 and t2. It will be fx1 x2 t2 minus t1, and PDF fx x1 x2 t1 and t2. It will be fx1 x2 t2 minus t1. This is the second order distribution, and the condition is called for n order, means the third order, fourth order, and so on. So this is known as the stationary random process. So for this process, the mean value will be mu and variance will be sigma square, because there is no statistical characteristic change with respect to the time origin. So this is known as the stationary random process. Now we will discuss non-stationary random process. A random process whose statistical characteristic change with time is known as the non-stationary random process. For example, the random process representing the time, representing the temperature of a particular location is a non-stationary process, because the temperature status depends on the time of the day. For non-stationary random process, fxt PDF of x at time t, it will be not equal to the PDF of x at time t plus tau. So the change of the time will change the PDF or CDF of the random process. So this type of random process are known as non-stationary stochastic process or random process. Now we'll discuss wide sense stationary random process or stochastic process. We know the nth order stationary process will follow this condition as CDF x1 to xn at t1 to tn. It will be fxt x1 to xn t1 plus tau to tn plus tau 4 or tau. And if this equation does not hold for all values of n but hold for some value n, some value k, and this value k is less than n, so then we say that the process is stationary of order k. And if the random process is stationary of order 2, is n is equal to 2 here, then the random process is said to be wide sense stationary or weak stationary random process. And if xt is wide sense stationary random process, then the mean value of this random process xt will be mu, and the autocorrelation function at t and s, it will be the correlation between xt and xs, or the autocorrelation function at mod x minus t. So this is the wide sense stationary random process. And you know, all the stationary process are the wide sense stationary process, but all wide sense stationary process will not be the stationary process. So you can say strict sense stationary process is also the wide sense process, but in general the converse is not true. And consider one example. Consider a random process xt is equal to y cos omega t, where t greater than equal to 0, where omega is a constant and y is a uniform random variable over 0 to 1. Find the mean value of this random process xt. And you know, the mean value of random process xt means the mean value of y cos omega t, and it will be equal to expected value of y into cos omega t, because here cos omega t is constant, y is a random variable, so the mean value of random variable. And you know, the random variable is a uniform random variable between 0 to 1, and you know, the mean value of this uniform random variable will be a plus b by 2 when it is between a to b, and so a is 0 and b is 1, so the mean value of random variable y will be 1 by 2. So from this equation, equation first, you can have the expected value of this random process, it will be 1 by 2 cos omega t. And in another case, the similar question, and you have to find out the autocorrelation function Rxxts of random process xt. And you know, the autocorrelation function is the correlation between xt and xs, so it will be the expected value of y square cos omega t cos omega s. Consider this is equation second. And now we have to find out ey square, and you know, ey square is equal to integration 0 to 1 y square fyy dy. So limit here, limit 0 to 1 y square and fyy, because it is uniform random variable and between 0 to 1, so its PDF is 1, and you have to integrate, and after integration the value of expected value of y square, it will be 1 by 3. So from the equation second, you can find out the autocorrelation function will be 1 by 3 cos omega t cos omega s. And the same question, and you have to find out the autocovariance function Cxxts of random process xt. And you know, Cxxts will be the autocorrelation function xt ts minus expected value of random process xt into expected value of random process xs. So you know, you have calculated this 1 by 3 cos omega t cos omega s, and the expected value of random process xt is 1 by 2 cos omega t, and this 1 by 2 cos omega s. So after calculating, you will get the autocorrelation function of random process xt at t and s. It will be 1 by 12 cos omega t cos omega s. The expected value we measure is the statistical average. If the random process xt is sampled at instant t is equal to ti, then the xti, the random process xti is random process at t is equal to ti. It will be the random variable with so the ensemble average of the random variable xti, it will be expected value of xti means integration minus infinity to infinity xti, and the pdf of x at t is equal to I, and with respect integration with respect to dxti. And the time average of xt, the time average is limit t tends to infinity 1 by t integration minus t by 2 to t by 2 xt dt. And in general, the ensemble average and time average are not equal. So now we consider the case of mean ergodic process. As I told you, the ensemble average and the time average are not equal. For a special case of random process, ensemble average are equal to the time average. Such processes are known as ergodic process. To consider a random process xt, t belongs to t, capital T is here the real number, and the mean value and autocorrelation function R will be, the mean value will be E of expected value of random process xt, and autocorrelation for random process at t2 minus t1 means tau, rx x tau, it will be E, expected value or correlation between xt and xt plus tau, the autocorrelation. And the time average and the time autocorrelation are, this is the time average limit t tends to infinity 1 by t integration minus t by 2 to t by 2 xt dt, and time autocorrelation will be rx x tau bar. It will be limit t tends to infinity 1 by t minus t by 2 to t by 2 xt plus tau dt. So they are not equal in general sense, but when they are equal, means expected value of xt will be the time average and the autocorrelation will be the time autocorrelation, then we can say this function is the mean ergodic process. And now we'll discuss independent process. In a random process xt, if xti for I 1, 2, 3 are independent random variables, so that the CDF x1 to xn at time t1 to tn will be the product of all these CDFs, means because they are independent, so the joint CDF will be equal to the product of all CDF. So it will be the product some is pi I1 to n fx xi ti. So this is the product notation pi here, and we call random process is independent random process. In this case, a random process having independent increment if you can say t1 greater than 0, t2 greater than t1, t3 greater than t2, and so on, and tn greater than tn minus 1, then x naught xt1 minus x naught xt2 minus x1 and xtn minus xtn minus 1 are independent here. And so you can say xt minus xs have the same distribution function as xt plus n minus xs plus n for all stn are greater than equal to 0. Means the distribution will be same if we are taking xt minus sn, or we are taking xt plus n minus xsn plus 1. So these are the independent increment here. And now we will define the Markov process. a random process xt when t belongs to capital T, here capital T is the real number, is the Markov process if the probability of here the probability of xtn plus 1 less than equal to xn plus 1 given xt1 is equal to x1, xt2 is equal to x2, xtn is equal to xn, and this will be equal to probability of xtn plus 1 less than equal to xn plus 1 given that xn is equal to xtn is equal to xn. So here you can see a discrete state Markov process is known as Markov chain, and for the Markov chain, the xn when n greater than equal to 0 for all, and if probability xn plus 1 is equal to j given x naught is equal to I naught, x1 is equal to I1, xn is equal to xin, and is equal to probability xn plus 1 is equal to j given that xn is equal to I. These two equations are referred to as Markov property, which is known as the memoryless property. This property of Markov process states that the future state of the process depends only on the present state, not on the past history. Clearly, the process is the independent increment, is the Markov process. Now, counting process. A random process xt is said to be counting process if the random process represents the total number of events that have occurred in the interval 0 to t. And a counting process must satisfy the following conditions: xt greater than equal to 0 and x0 is equal to 0, means it should start from 0, and xt is integer value, xs less than equal to xt if s less than t, and xt minus xs equals to the number of events that have occurred on the interval s and t. Now, the Poisson process. One of the most important type of counting process is the Poisson process, which defined as a counting process xt is said to be Poisson process if x0 is equal to 0, means it should start from 0, and xt has independent increments, and the number of events in any time interval t is Poisson distribution with mean lambda. This means the probability x t plus s minus ts is equal to n, and in this it will have the Poisson distribution. This means e is to the power minus lambda t is to the power n upon factorial n, where n is 0, 1, 2, 3, and the expected value of this random process will be lambda t, and the variance will be lambda t. You know, the mean and variance are equal for the Poisson random process. So the expected value and mean value are lambda t here. And another is the Wiener process. A random process is said to be Wiener process if xt has stationary independent increment, and the increment xt minus s, where t greater than s, is normal distributed. In the previous case, the Poisson case, it was the Poisson distributed, but in this case the increment xt minus xs is the normal distributed. So the mean value is 0 xt, and x0 is equal to 0, means it should start from 0, and the Wiener process is known as Brownian motion. So and the variance will be sigma square t, and this is Brownian motion process, and when sigma square is equal to 1 here, then we say that this is the standard Wiener process. The autocorrelation function Rxx Ts and the autocovariance function of the Wiener process xtr, they are equal to sigma square minimum of Ts, where Ts greater than 0, and xt is normally distributed with mean mu t, and so the PDF of the standard Wiener process, standard Wiener process means mean variance will be 1. So the PDF will be 1 by under root 2 pi t e to the power minus x minus mu t whole square divided by 2t. Now the cross correlation function. Let x t and y t are two jointly wide sense stationary process. The cross correlation function Rxy tau of two random process, it will be Rxy tau is equal to the correlation between xt and yt plus tau, and similarly the cross correlation y and x, it will be the correlation between yt and xt plus tau. And the property of this cross correlation function Rx y minus tau not equal to Rx tau. The correlation function is not an even function of tau like autocorrelation function, and it has the symmetry in this accordance. Rxy tau it is equal to Ryx minus tau. Here these are interchange xy yx, and two process xt yt are said to be incoherent or orthogonal if Rxy tau is equal to 0, and Rxy tau mod of Rxy tau less than equal to root of Rx0 and Ry0, and Rxy tau it will be less than equal to 1 by 2 Rx0 plus Rxy, and the two processes will be uncorrelated if the covariance is 0, means the autocorrelation function will be equal to the expected value of xt and expected value of yt. Now we will discuss the cross covariance function. The cross covariance function of xt yt, it will be the expected value of xt minus mu xt yt plus tau minus mu yt plus tau, or you can say it is cross correlation minus the expected value of xt into expected value of yt, and two process xt yt are orthogonal if Rxy tau is equal to 0, means cross correlation is 0, and they are uncorrelated if cross covariance is 0. Now we will discuss the power spectral density. We have discussed the random process in time domain. We have characterized the process by means of autocorrelation, cross correlation, and covariance function. As we know, both time domain and frequency domain analysis method exist for analyzing linear system and deterministic waveforms like sine wave. But what about random waveform? Is there some way to describe random process in the frequency domain? The answer is yes. The spectral description of the deterministic waveform is obtained by Fourier transform of the waveform. The Fourier transform plays an important role in the spectral characterization of the random waveform. The power spectral density or power spectrum SS omega of a continuous time random process is the Fourier transform of autocorrelation function. So the Fourier transform of autocorrelation function means integration minus infinity to infinity autocorrelation function Rxx tau e to the power minus j omega tau d tau, and the inverse Fourier transform of this power spectral density will give you the autocorrelation function. So the autocorrelation function will be 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to infinity as xx omega e to the power j omega tau d omega. Now the properties of power spectral density. As xx omega greater than equal to 0, this means it is real, and the power spectral density of a wide sense stationary process for 0 frequency is equal to the area under the curve of autocorrelation function. So x0 will be minus infinite integration minus infinity to infinity r x x tau d tau, and the mean square value of the random process is equal to the area under the under power spectral density. So E x square t, it will be Rxx0 from the property of autocorrelation function, and it will be equal to 1 by 2 pi minus infinity to infinity at Sxx omega d omega. And the power spectral density of a wide sense stationary process is even function. So Sxx minus omega will be Sxx omega, or Sxx minus f is equal to Sxxf. So this is the even function of the frequency. Now consider the example. Find the power spectral density for the random process when the autocorrelation function Rxx tau is equal to a square by 2 a naught square by 2 cos omega naught tau. You know, the power spectral density is the Fourier transform of the autocorrelation function. So Rxx omega, it will be minus integration minus infinity to infinity Rxx tau e to the power minus j omega d tau. So it is integration minus infinity to infinity a naught square by 2 cos omega naught t e to the power minus j omega t d tau. So you will get a naught square by 2 pi del omega minus omega naught plus del omega plus omega naught. So these are the impulse at the frequency omega minus omega naught and omega plus omega naught. Is here omega minus omega naught and omega plus omega naught. So you will get here the impulse. This is the power spectral density, and the autocorrelation function is given. And the cross power spectral density. The cross power spectral density Sxy omega is the Fourier transform of the cross correlation function. So Sxy omega, it will be the Fourier transform of cross correlation function Rxy tau. So it is equal to integration minus infinity to infinity Rxy tau e to the power minus j omega tau d tau. And inverse Fourier transform, you will get the cross correlation function from the cross power spectral density by taking the inverse Fourier transform. So it is 1 by 2 pi integration minus infinity to infinity Sxy omega e to the power minus j omega d tau. And the property of the cross power spectral density Sxy tau Sxy omega will be equal to Sxy minus omega, because it is even function of the for the frequency, and so you can write it as Sxy conjugate omega. And the second property is Sxy omega will be equal to minus integration minus infinity to infinity Rxy tau e to the power minus j omega tau d tau. And this is the Fourier transform of the cross correlation function, and Syx omega will be the Fourier transform of cross correlation function Ryx tau e to the power minus j omega tau. And power spectral density for a discrete case. For discrete case, the power spectral density Sx omega, it will be the Fourier transform of Rxxk autocorrelation function in discrete form. So it will be R Sxx omega will be equal to summation k minus infinity to infinity Rxxk e to the power minus j omega k. So here this is the autocorrelation function for the discrete case, and by taking the inverse Fourier transform for the discrete case, you will get autocorrelation function for the discrete case by taking the inverse Fourier transform of the power spectral density for the discrete case. So it will be equal to 1 by 2 pi integration minus pi to pi s x x omega e to the power minus j omega k d omega. And the properties of power spectral density are s x x omega plus 2 pi, it will be equal to s x x omega, and it is real, this means s x x omega greater than equal to 0, and it is even function of the frequency, so s x x minus omega will be equal to s x x omega, and the mean square value e x square n, it will be the r x x 0 from the property, and it will be equal to 1 by 2 pi integration minus pi to pi s x x omega d omega. And the cross power spectral density for the discrete case, similarly it will be the Fourier transform of the cross correlation function. So it will be s x y omega will be equal to summation k minus infinity to infinity r x y k is to the power minus j omega k, and you will get the cross correlation function r x y k will be from the power spectral density by taking the inverse Fourier transform, it will be equal to 1 by 2 pi minus integration minus pi to pi s x y omega is to the power minus j omega k d omega. And the properties of cross power spectral density are s x y omega plus 2 pi, it will be equal to s x y omega, and s x y omega it will be equal to s y x minus omega. And third property, it will be s x y minus omega, it will be conjugate of s x y omega. So these are the properties of cross power spectral density. So for the time being, this was the lecture 7 of the lecture series of random processes detection and estimation. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the white noise linear system with random input. Till then, thanks for listening this lecture. Thank you.